Welcome back to Rayman Revolution. This is part 2. We're continuing on our journey to, I guess, rescue Lee the Fairy. I'm pretty sure that's what we gotta do. We're in the Fairy Glade, and you know you're in a level because when you hit select, nothing happens. They only implemented that specifically for the hub world areas, and I'm so glad they did. It feels like a kind of an ahead of its time sort of decision because too many games from that time period didn't do that, right? This is a year 2000 game after all. Swimming not advised. Huh, I wonder why, man. Is it because of those piranhas? Probably because there's piranhas. Or maybe it's because of the way the game is designed. We can shoot our alums here, and wow, going from a like about 70 or so % complete save file, the one that I was, playing on because I've been playing the game. Going from that back to this is a little bit weird because Rayman's abilities are quite underwhelming initially. But of course, you do get upgrades. It does feel kind of weird. Like, you use these lums, which are apparently like the source of the world's balance or something, to buy rapid fire, you know what I mean? But it will help, trust me. Especially with some later sections, which I'm not sure if they were the best in terms of conception, but you'll definitely... Well, you'll see what they're like, okay? Now let's go ahead and try. I'm not doing a 100% run because I've never 100% of this game, and this game's like, I swear to God, it has not just Revolution, but just Rayman 2 in general. The freaking placement of the cages and the lums, I don't know how the fuck you're supposed to like find some of them. They're just impossible, and I fell all the way down, and I'm not giving up on that one, okay? Because you do get some bonus content. Not all of it is extremely valuable, but you do definitely want to be freeing as much as these, I think, well, because you're not freeing lums necessarily. You're freeing these weird blue fairies now. I'm not sure exactly. We're just going to go ahead and run back to the bit that we fell off. I do like how Rayman has this perfect shadow. Like, it's not like, actually being... cast like you would a real shadow in modern rendering, but it's PS2. But it's still, like, obviously the outline of the character just with no Z on it, Or actually, maybe it does have... No, it has no Y on it, I guess. You know what I mean? It's flat. And it looks really nice. Hold on, is this the right place? Yeah, of course it's the right place. Where else will we go? We go over here, we hit the switch. I got a little jingle playing, doom, doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo, which is like way louder than everything else because, as I said, this game's audio mix is just complete garbage. Really. And the original sounded pretty fucking good for N64. I don't know what the hell happened. Is it this bad on Dreamcast as well? Because Dreamcast has CD audio quality, but maybe it's just this version. Who knows? The PS2 was kind of new at this point. Yeah, you guys can shut the fuck up. Alright, we're going to keep running through. And grab the green... Yeah, these are your checkpoints. I feel that the game does not give you checkpoints quite as frequently as it should. I think they've made the game a little bit easier. No, not easier. They've made it a little bit more difficult. See, what the fuck are these? How am I supposed to... You can go to first person, by the way. How are you supposed to get those? Oh, I see. Oh, no. I've actually never tried that before. Wait a second, there's a sleeping pirate. No. Look at that. That's an illusion. That's not actually flowing, it's just the way the texture is made. There's this really great... I'm not sure if it's a stream, but it's on YouTube now. It's like just a regular video. Where Michel Ancel plays through most of the... Like a good chunk of the Dreamcast version of this game and talks about how they developed it. And it's just super cool to see that kind of stuff. Especially that bit where he talks about tank... How am I supposed to get up there? Seriously. How am I supposed to go there? I don't know. I'm guessing you maybe unlock something. Because again, you do have unlockable abilities. The textures do look very nice though, gotta admit. But still, so you know how this game was supposed to have tank controls initially? And they told him like, you are crazy. This is not the car control. And I'm just like, they called it car control. But yeah, it's true. Like, imagine this game with tank controls. I mean, as someone who plays a lot of first-person shooters, I actually kind of could, because they pretty much use tank controls, right? You strafe left and right and stuff. It's kind of crazy to think that tank controls are still very much around. We just don't really notice them because in first person it makes a hell of a lot more sense because you're using a different axes to control the rotation. And you're going to be seeing this screen a lot. This is one of those PS2 games where you just save. Like, everything makes you save. I guess I'm not complaining because, you don't want to lose any progress. Although, what really pisses me off, the fact that when you save manually, it doesn't really count. Like, it saves your collectibles, I think, But let's say you got through a really tough part of a level and you didn't get a checkpoint, and you save, right? Manually, because you think, okay, cool, I get to continue later from that part. Well, no. Unless you got a checkpoint, like a green lum, or the game triggered one of those cutscenes, not cutscenes, but one of those transitions from area to area. Unless something like that happened, you are not actually getting a checkpoint. Like if you restart that save file, you're going back to the latest section like that, if that makes sense. So, what else are we doing here? Admiring the art style. It is very well done. Oh, there's a cage over there. I wonder how we're going to try and get it. Hold on. Oh, no. Oh, wait a second. This is the clicking in my head. Okay, so later on, you not only unlock abilities using money, you also unlock them contextually throughout the campaign. And one of those abilities involves, I don't want to spoil it. I guess I don't want to spoil it. Yeah, it involves interacting with a seed like that. Oh boy, I think I know what that means. If we were... The fuck? Why did I fall off? If we were to go for 100%, I think you know what that means. It means that we would have to go back. And then go back again. We'd have a lot of backtracking to do. I'm not doing that because I don't see backtracking as a worthwhile way to extend. What the fuck? Why does it keep doing that? Rayman, why do you keep letting go? I had no problems with the section before. Okay, wait. Let's like fucking focus. Like get my eyes totally rail gunned onto what I'm doing. Like, look at this. Okay, we're moving through. Do not let go, Rayman. Why did he let go last time? And the time before that one? Did they fuck up the collision detection on these? Because as you can see, they have a little bit of geometry to them instead of them being flat. There you go. The vines are just a little bit odd. And their music's weird, too. It's because there's a band called The Vines. I think it's funny. They haven't really made anything in quite some time. Well, actually, no, they're kind of still together. I know that the guy, like the front man, he still does stuff. He's an insanely good songwriter. Anyway. Are we just going to keep... Yep, we're going to keep saving. Typically, I'll cut these out unless I happen to be talking over them like I am right now. If I've got absolutely nothing to say, then, yeah, I'll just cut it out. Or if it's during a cutscene or something. I love how they present them as if they'd be some kind of threat. I can only think of, like, one section of the game where the Robo-Pirate guys actually almost can take you out effectively. Also, I believe they've added this. This was not in the N64 version, wasn't it? Except there's really not much. Oh, God, these assets stick out so bad. Look at this. It's like N64, PlayStation 2. Doesn't really look right, doesn't it? Can you stop saying that? I know you... It's really interesting how you can't turn the camera for some reason, but you can still go in a first person, which turns the camera. So it's like, what the fuck? Anyway, this section's real simple. All you gotta do is stand here and donk. And the super loud music cue plays, even though I've turned that, because these particular musical stings are actually sound effects. I think they are, because a while ago I actually turned the music all the way down, and they still played. So clearly they're considered sound effects by the game. They're just musical stings. I am curious as to whether or not something would happen if I return to music here, because I don't know. I don't remember if this section was supposed to have music to begin with. Let's actually find out right now. Do we have actual music in this area or not? I'm going to turn the shit back down because no. There just genuinely is no music in this part of the game. That was a very common thing with Rayman 2, That was the case in the original as well. I think I talked about this in my Vivid Noise episode of it, actually. But it's true. The game is very Half-Life-esque with the way it uses music. You're not constantly listening to some banger, even though Rayman 1's soundtrack was absolutely insane. And the same composer totally could have come back. In fact, maybe he did. I'm not sure. But they could have had him just make a whole another fucking soundtrack full of insane shit like that. But instead, they play it quite carefully here. They used this motif throughout pretty much the whole thing. Well, there's two motifs when it comes to Rayman. There's the one you just heard, dun, doo dun, doo 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 dun. And there's another one as well, which is like a doo 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 doo. I can't perfect pitch it, but I think you know what the one I'm talking about. It's actually quite commonly used in the GBA games. Speaking of which, man, Rayman 2 on GBA is like, it's super well animated for a GBA game. Old GBA, did I just say GBA? Well, yes, there are GBA Rayman games. There's also Nintendo DS games and 3DS. Well, the 3DS one wasn't great, but there was also a Game Boy Color one. Why? Because it was like 1999 or something, and they needed a handheld version, and it's not bad at all, actually. I think the second... No, what's interesting is that, wasn't there like... It was Rayman 1, but it felt like Rayman 2, kinda, because it came out around that time, and it was on Game Boy Color after all. Then it was like an actual Rayman 2 for GBA, which was very different. It certainly didn't have the same kind of level design. It was a lot more back and forth. Yeah, I think they tried to, I guess, implement the design mentality of this game, if that makes sense. Also, it took me an embarrassingly long amount of time on my first playthrough to discover this section of the level. Don't ask why, I just never thought to go down here, even though it's brightly lit and everything. Also ladders. Please. Thank you. Gordon, get away from there. Okay, whatever. It's because ladders, every time I see ladders, it's like Half-Life, because the ladders sucked in that game, didn't they? Oh, actually, I believe that you can, instead of just going back, you can go and collect another one of these barrels. Oh, man. Later on in the game, you also get an upgrade to let you move shit faster. Let's see if we can throw that over there in. Got a little secret area over here. Any enemies for me to kill? Nope. Yeah, you can really tell, like, this area is a little bit... Yeah, it's so strange seeing a game like this, because you have such a level of such a discrepancy between assets from different generations. Even though it's true that, like, a lot of early PlayStation 2 games kind of just looked like N64 games, but not as N64-y. This is weird because a lot of the stuff looks noticeably better. And then there's a lot of other stuff that looks noticeably not as better. Overall, the style carries the whole game, right? It looks fantastic overall. I can't say at any point it looks ugly. I don't know where I'm going, by the way. So after several minutes of fumbling like a fucking idiot, I realized the section that I had to go was hidden by the camera. So, that left me speechless. Anyway, okay, I'm not going to hold that against the game. I mean, 3D cameras are just a fucking nightmare. Like, literally no game other than, like, a first-person shooter gets it right. Or just any game where you move the camera with the mouse. Really. Like, it's not possible. Because just, like, unless you make the level design incredibly OCD and just straight-laced, right, with nothing interesting going on, you're pretty much never going to get a perfect camera solution, because how do you predict, where exactly the player has to see? Although, they really could have done a slightly better job right there to just kind of guide you along. Maybe that was... I don't remember that from the original... That particular section from the original Rayman 2. Maybe it was there, though, because it did play the cool sneaky music, which it is playing. It's very quiet, because I turned down all of the music in the mix, because in the cutscenes, the music is absolutely overbearing, and you just can't hear shit. But anyway, enough about me complaining about the mix. Let's see if we can find anything else of interest in this. So, I think something I talked about while looking for the exit, and then I'm going to cut it out, of course, to not bore you guys, was I was getting into... Wait, of course there's going to be a... Ah, fuck it, I'll just talk over it. I've actually been getting into making video games because, like, it's, it's kind of cool. And holy shit, like, GD script, right? It's actually pretty straightforward when you figure it out. Just gotta remember how to use... Like, I still can't really wrap my head around, like, vectors. Signals sort of make sense. They're not super hard to use as long as everything's contained within the same scene. Still don't know if it's even possible to have signals split across several scenes. Maybe there's a way. Also, the emit function is kind of weird. I'm not really sure exactly what it is. Making custom variables is fun, because you can basically just fuck around and do whatever you want. You just tell it, hey, if this thing happens, whatever it is, I want this to change. And you could use that to exploit the fuck out of the engine and just make whatever the hell you want. Now it looks really cool. So yeah, by the time you're seeing this, I'm probably going to be done with the project. But I'm going to be... Yeah, this area right here, I think is brand new to this version. Like, you couldn't do this on N64. Look at this. Actually, you could. There's games with really, really big environments on N64, but you couldn't do about, like, having the game run at, like, no FPS at all. Granted, it's not like this is running at like 60 FPS. I think there's a way to make it happen, although I'm not doing it for the sake of stability, because, you know, when you take a game like this and you fucking crank up the frame rate artificially, it can introduce some problems, right? So I don't want to... You're going to be watching this at like 30 FPS anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. Although I have contemplated maybe recording this this series in particular at 25, because it is literally running at 25 FPS. That's actually what it's running at right now, because that's how the game was designed. But maybe that wouldn't really be all that... No, because my intro card is at... Yeah, that wouldn't look great. So, what are we doing? Oh, we just looped back around. I think I can just jump down. You don't have to follow it so methodically. You can just kind of go like this. I do believe that there is a... Yep, there's a cage right there. Oh, no, don't shoot at Lee. Shoot the cage. Auto-targeting. It's a wonderful thing when it works correctly. I really do enjoy the way these environments look. How dark they can be. This is such a... I do...
Screaming Rayman. Find the machine and destroy it.
I'll try to. I know I can do it, but I think that here's the thing. So Rayman Revolution actually introduces a lot more areas, especially the hub worlds, which are more colorful and brighter than what was in the original Rayman 2. Rayman 2 was a pretty damn dark game, right? The original was bright as hell. I'm talking about the original Rayman. Then Rayman Free was kind of like a mix. But Rayman 2 was initially an extremely... This area, for example, look at it. It's been totally redone. You can literally go back to my Vivid Noise episode and compare. Because I'm pretty sure I played through this section. I'm not 100% sure. No. Actually, I don't think I do. No, I don't. Maybe I don't fucking remember, man. It was like a year ago. Whatever. But point is, though, this section is totally different. Oh, shit. I forgot about those. And I don't mind it. Yes, there is the argument to be made that maybe the dark environments just aided the atmosphere, but it's Rayman, man. It's not supposed to be that dark. This game definitely retains some of it. It's not like it's all sunshine and rainbows the whole time, but it feels more in line with what you'd expect with a game like this. So I'm personally satisfied with the art direction this game went for. A little bit annoyed by the change, like the inconsistency in the asset quality, but you kind of... I guess you couldn't really expect within a year for them to completely redo every single asset for PS2 quality. And let's be real, I mean, like, people back then were not playing this game at the resolution that I'm playing it at right now. No, they were playing it at on a fucking CRT with component cables at 240i. Well, even though this game does render progressive, I don't have to use any sort of deinterlacing on the emulator like you normally would. So I think it's progressive scan. Or maybe there's some cheating something going on with the way PCSX2 does it that makes it... Because I know that, at least according to Exo Paradigm Gamer, some emulators cheat by changing the resolution even when you don't tell them to do it. Like Dolphin.
Lee, are you okay?
Oh, Rayman, at last. I was afraid Glowbox had failed.
He gave me the silver lum, but we got separated. I need to find him and get rid of the pirates. But to do that, I'll need all of my powers.
I am too weak to give you back all your powers. They broke the primordial energy core into 1,000 lums, and combining the energy has become very difficult. But there may be another solution. Have you ever heard of Polygus?
No.
He's the spirit of the world. His power is immense. He could help you defeat the pirates. Unfortunately, he's been sleeping for many years. But there is a legend which says he could be awakened if you reunite the four masks.
The four masks?
These masks are magical and very powerful. They are hidden in secret and mysterious places. Find them, Rayman. It's our only hope. I'll help you by giving you all the energy I've gathered.
Yahoo!
Good luck, Rayman! Now you can grab onto the purple lungs.
That's the fucking virgin Yahoo. Everyone knows the Chad. Yay! Rayman! That's the one. Also, God save us, everyone, while we burn inside the fires of 1,000 lums. I'm sorry. That's the first thing that came to mind. I was like, okay, we gotta do that. Anyway, hopefully I didn't sing that too accurately so YouTube goes, no, bad. No, of course I didn't, because that track is, there's so many fucking... Have you seen the making of 1,000 Suns? As they say, it's like a metropolis on the screen. You know what I mean? Like, they have so many freaking... Like, you can hear it. You can hear just how many vocal tracks are layered on top of each other. Like, I've heard of double tracking, but this is like fucking a quadruple... Not even quadruple. Quintuple tracking. Like, okay, basically, because it's like this really big vocal sound, right? You gotta get all those different layers together, especially the whoa, you know, those vocals. Anyway, enough talking about music production while playing Rayman. Wait a second. There might be something in here. No, there isn't. Wait, that's an idea that came back for Rayman Origins. That's pretty neat. Let's see what else we can find. I think it's going to transition to another cutscene. Not cutscene, but a loading screen, right? Absolutely. I think we better leave it off for this one. Don't want to go a little bit too long. Anyway, what do? We rescued Lee, or at least I think we have. She's going to supply us with some bonus content. Not sure if I'm really going to be showing that much of it off. Basically, she's the incentive to free more of those blue spirits. Let's just take a look at this area before we dive into it next episode. Whoa, the verticality. What's impressive is that even the N64 version had a pretty good render distance, but this area is also quite different looking. This game is such a strange combination between like old and new, right? Because even the old's been made a little bit new. Then there's some sections that are completely untouched. Then there's other parts that kind of aren't. Like, I don't know. Really weird. I miss games that were this strange hybrid. Actually, no, who am I kidding? We still kind of get them. Like, it's more common to receive just a remaster. It's just the same game, but with, you know, just higher resolution and a full remake. But it's not like we don't get those in-betweens at all, right? I can think of a couple examples. But anyway, that's going to do it for part 2 of Rayman Revolution. Stop zooming in like that. And next time, I want to see you guys in part 3. We'll be jumping down this thing and completing some more levels, seeing what the hub world has to offer, and generally having a good time, because this game is quite enjoyable. Alright, I'm going to see you guys in part 3, Rayman Revolution.